today, something a little different. The Sage Barista Express, also known as the Breville Barista Express. My new coffee machine is what some people will call it. It's got a built-in grinder, it does fine to coarse to espresso, and that's what we'll be looking at today, is trying to get it unpacked, set it up, and figure out if I can even use it. But before that, let's make a brew, shall we? Box takes up a lot of room. Got these cool little coffee bags though. Drip coffee, flurries, bacoba, lemon, raisin and red apple. Sounds like a great flapjack, doesn't it? From Gnocchi Coffee Roasters. One of these cool little tea bags, and you just fold out the little wings like this. Tear the top off it. Little bad boy like that. Get that to stand over your, hook on over your mug like that. That's pretty clever, isn't it? Excuse the plaster. Try to take a standing knife to my finger during the week. Got a kettle of water that's just come off the boil, about 5 minutes off the boil. And I'm just going to pour it in all right, I suppose. Lovely. And just let that bad boy drip on through. So. Let's get it unwrapped. That was a lot harder than it needed to be, but well packaged, and that is all we can say. We're almost done making drip coffee over here. So here we are again, as I said, the Sage Barista Express entry-level premium product. Sage do a range of barista products. They do the Barista Pro, they do the Oracle. The Oracle being over £1,000, which is just a little bit too much for me. This bad boy on sale on Amazon and in most places actually at the moment for £549, including delivery if you go for Amazon. There are a couple of places out there. John Lewis were doing it for £550, but they were doing a free knockbox. Unfortunately, the knockbox was out of stock, so it was just the normal price. However, the one I wanted, if you can see it on the packaging, no you can't, was the black one. We'll see that in a minute. Quite nice packaging, lots of features to talk about here that I don't really know what I'm on about, so I won't go too deep into it, but we get a temperature ranging milk jug, which obviously helps you with your milk frothing. We've got a dialing in unit on the front here for the grinding. Yeah, super fast boiler, thermal precision heating system, also known as a water heater. And this is cool because we've got the built-in grinder on here as well, and the gauge on the front, which hopefully we'll get to experiment with. And that basically just tells you about whether you've got the right pressure to make espresso or not. Now, I'm no coffee connoisseur, I'm definitely no barista. I'd call myself a black apron at Starbucks perhaps, but it doesn't really differentiate me from the pack, does it? So I was waiting for some coffee beans to come from Matt and Cole over in Rowley Regis. I think they're still in the post. But never mind, we're going to have a look today. We've got some beautiful pre-ground, which I was using, Ethiopia from River City Coffee. I got this about 2 or 3 days ago. I was using it on a pumped pressurised basket espresso machine, which is why I went for pre-ground, but I was obviously trying it off with an unpressurised basket. It did get better, but it's still really sour and really, really under extracted. So when this is ground, it's air sealed. It's been air sealed since, so even though we won't get to play with the grinder today, at least we'll get to set it up and have a go at pulling some shots with some nice professionally ground coffee. So let's have a look what's in the box, shall we? First of all, we've got the instruction manual. Won't read that. We've got, now this is really cool. We've got the Sage razor. Now this razor is actually a really cool Sage invented leveling off tool. So you can see here on the picture, you put the grounds into the filter basket, you press it down, tamp it down, and then use this to scrape off any excess, giving you the perfect depth inside the basket for producing the right height inside the espresso machine. Because if there's too much gap in front of the portafilter and the distribution head, then it's going to bubble up and not really extract properly, and vice versa. If it's too tight, then you're going to have a sealing issue and water everywhere. So also this is the filter basket, very nice portafilter, nice sturdy, feels solid. We've got the two spouts there as well. You can buy a bottomless portafilter with a nice wooden handle for this as well, but we shall look into that another day. We've got a lovely set here of portafilters as well. We've got the single unpressurised, which is obviously the standard filter there. We've also got two pressurised baskets that come in the box, which are the dual layer ones. These are the ones with lots of holes inside, only one hole outside. That basically creates back pressure with less fine ground coffee, and gives you a more consistent kind of pull on the espresso. But as I've discovered with my DeLonghi, not really great espresso experience when you start to get your teeth into it. And of course then you've got the double pressurised filter basket as well. So 4 options with this machine, and of course a button pre-programmed for each one as well. What else have we got? We've got the cleaning kit. Cleaning kit in here includes the rubber gasket that is used for putting inside the portafilter, which one day we may show you. There's plenty of videos online. We've got a couple of descaling tabs. We've got a small little selection of brushes and a pin for cleaning hard to reach areas, and an Allen key, which is for taking off the distribution head inside the machine and cleaning inside it, because the Barista Express has actually got a moisture extraction function. So once you've extracted through the puck, you can then, it sucks a little bit of moisture back out of it, just so you've not got a really wet, messy puck to deal with, and it's easier to get into your knot box, so less moisture. You also get an included tamper. Now I do believe this is a 53 mil. Let's just have a look, shall we? Because I've been asking myself this question, and it is indeed 53 millimeters diameter. And this is going to be tight again. Time for another hyperlapse. Right, can't argue about the packaging. Well, we are building quite a pile over here. Anyway, so we'll put that all to one side for now. So here we go. Now, what have we got in here? I'm just going to carefully open this, because this is the first time I've had it out of the box. So I don't want to lose anything, break anything. So this is the hopper for the built-in coffee grinder. Very nice, got a rubberised grip around the top here. Airtight, nice tight rubber seal. Not that I'll be storing huge amounts of coffee in there, because I am going to get into weighing coffee hopefully. Again, loads of videos on YouTube about weighing espresso shots. 18 grams, 17 to 18 grams of coffee beans in, same amount of ground out for a double shot. And then you're looking for like a 1-to-2 ratio. Some people do 28 kind of 28 seconds to 30 seconds out, and then the same with the kind of grammage again afterwards. I think it's like 36 grams of liquid, which would obviously be double to 2. It's a little bit too scientific for a Sunday in drizzly Birmingham. So pop this out. A hefty piece of machinery, I must admit. decent weight to it. So here's the jug. We've got the jug with the thermometer strip on the side of it. Let's have a little look at what this looks like. Nice big jug actually. Oh yeah, brushed steel. Yeah, the stuck on temperature here with Fahrenheit and centigrade on the side of it. Not sure how quickly that temperature strip will react though. I know that the rule of thumb when you're frothing milk is to just hold it at the bottom when it gets too hot to touch. That's hot enough. But we'll look back at that shortly, I think. I must say though, for £550, a lot of people will be like, oh my god, that's a lot of money, right? It sounds very expensive. But I'm not going to try and divide it down into takeaway coffees or something, because I mean that's like 24 weeks maybe, one a day, 5 days a week. 20, you know, let's say 4 weeks, and essentially you've spent £500 in Starbucks, possibly. Anyway, is it? No, it's not right. Ignore me. That's really bad maths. I haven't had my coffee. Hold on. I missed a decimal place. Anyway, drum roll, please. Oh, look at that. Again, as an unwrapping experience, very happy with how it's been packaged. Very happy indeed. Standard UK plug. We've got about a metre of cord here. We'll pop that over the back there for now. So, another little fast forward there just to get everything unwrapped. So we've now got the machine, we've got the, let's go over some features, shall we, before we start setting it up. So we've unwrapped everything, we've got the pressure gauge on the front here, really nice solid metal finish, glass / cup warmer on the top here. Good thing about this is it does take a little while to warm up, so about 15 to 20 minutes on average reviews from the internet, and it's actually better to get it a little hotter before you use it, just to make sure the group head's warm, and obviously the portafilter on there as well to give a bit of heat into that. We've got the double button pre-programmed, which you can change. We've got the single button, we've got the program button with loads of funky options which we won't go into just yet. We've got filter size, so we can change single or double. This is for the pre-programmed grinder with a small button under here that actually activates the grinder. Power button over here, and the grinder mount. This is for slightly more or slightly less grind time. If your dosing size for double isn't quite enough with the beans that you're using, then you can have a little bit more, a little bit less. It's entirely up to you. And on the side here, we've got the actual grind size, nice solid quick dial. Now these do only go from one to the other. Can't really have half sized dials, so again that might not be for the connoisseur, the true barista among us. But yeah, we've got, I've seen that 7's about right, so we might leave it there. Total size course is 16 all the way down to 1, which is super fine powder. Not seen anybody using it on 1 as yet. Removable conical burr, stainless steel burr in the top here. Unclick that. Again, this has got an adjustable holder in it as well, which means you can fine tune it over time. Really deep grinder section there, and that's what drew me to this originally, was because it's got that grinder built into it. So we'll pop that on two nice big teeth either side for aligning it. Push down, lock in. Oh, that's pretty easy. So unlock, lift up. And I've also discovered, which is a really cool thing as well, that when you unlock this locking mechanism, it also seals off the hopper so that the coffee that's in it won't fall out. So if you're like me, you're always changing coffee beans, then you can just pour the hopper back into the bag, change your beans out, and go again with something different. Around the other side, we've got the water and steam. Now, the way this works is really clever because you can just have good hot running water coming out of a separate spout underneath here. Yeah, this secondary brush steel spout here is where the hot water comes out of for making tea, obviously filter coffee if you wish, also for warming up your glasses or your mugs or whatever. 2 litres of stored water on the back, which is a massive tank, so great for flushing, rinsing, preheating, purging, all those kinds of things. It really is kind of starting to look like an entry-level professional machine. It does a lot of the stuff that you'd see professional baristas messing around with behind the counter in a coffee shop. Before we go around the back, really cool thing here. We've got stainless steel, chrome finish grate here, slide out drip tray, but this is where it gets really interesting. The slide out drip tray actually has completely removable, and it actually has a little drawer section at the back. Now this is for keeping your cleaning equipment in, it's also for keeping your spare filter baskets in, so if you want to change single to double, it's all nicely stored out the back. And I'm thinking, well, how does that work? How's that going to, I'm going to have to keep reaching out for that. So if I push that in all the way, slide that in, pull that back out, there's a little recess here that's just the right size to pull that drawer out, which is fantastic, really good. Coffee grind separator lift. So essentially then, there may well be some kind of pre-moulded, yes, so we've got a little grate here, plastic grate here, before you get to the main reservoir, so anything that falls through the grate here should hopefully stay above. And then we've got the removable tray there. We've also got the full marker that pops up empty there. Oh, very clever, very clever. So far, absolutely thrilled, really impressed. The more I look at it, the more I start to see every penny of £550 just oozing out of this purchase. It really is. I mean, I've been into coffee for quite a while, not professionally, but really like coffee for quite a long time, and I've always wanted to have a Sage machine. It's just got that name. Like I say, in the entry-level market, it's got that name that you just really want to have one day. And I can see why I've always wanted one, because that is a doozy. Back over to this side then, we've got a nice rubberised heatsink handle and a really flexible steamer head there. Single spout, no messing about, no frother on there. It's all about how you froth the milk. Round the back, finally, lovely Sage emblazoned tank, water tank, with a click release handle on a very clever hinge here that you can remove and take away if you wish. And then inside here as well, printed on the inside, we've got customer service number 0808, I'm not sure, 033, so that's free from a landline, free from any mobile number, which is brilliant, and instructions of how to install the filter. So let's just see how that works out. we're set up. We've given the filter in the back the onboard carbon filter, which is fantastic. 5 minutes to soak, 2 litres of water in the tank at the back. We flush that and rinse that a couple of times first. Quick look through the instructions that you might have seen whilst we were waiting for that as well. And I tell you what, really simple, easy to understand instructions, lots of pictures for people like me. We need to go through a flush cycle to clean everything out, so we're just going to make great use of the huge drip basket here. But first of all, the inaugural press. Well, that's terrifying. So, lots of pretty lights, like the white rings around thing, the halo effect, obviously flashing because we're warming up. We're going to wait for a little minute there for everything to sort itself out. I'm going to have another drink of coffee. Oh dear. Just getting over how loud that initial burst of pump motor was. Terrifying, absolutely terrifying. Waiting for the screams of my 18-month-old upstairs, waking up during nap time because it was that damn loud. Not sure whether that's the same for everybody's, and I don't even want to try it again to see if that's how loud it is all the time. Anyway, we've now got the power button with a solid white ring around it. That's stopped flashing. Look at a few of the other lights then. We've got the filter size here, so we press this. That changes whether we're going for a single grinder mount or a double grinder mount. Again, changeable by the dial there as well. We've got the Clean Me light, that comes on once it's been through a certain amount of cycles, and that's asking then for it to be, have a line scale flush done through it. And the hot water steam light hopefully will come on when we select hot water. So let's. So perhaps just because it was a little dry before, just had to pump through some water into the tank before it started doing anything. It certainly sounds a lot quieter now. I'm going to give it 10 seconds of this. Quite a decent stream of hot water comes out of there actually, and it is, I would say, usable for a cup of tea. We're going to take the drip tray out. Oh dear, got a bit of a leak at the back, that might be my fault. Pretty sure that's not supposed to happen. But isn't this refreshing, ladies and gentlemen? Being able to see the actual downfalls of first time operation of something that we've literally got no clue about. I mean, if it all went perfectly, would you actually have learnt anything from this video? Now, in their defence, I suppose that they are basing the fact that you won't be taking the drip tray out straight away all the time. It does actually say here, steam and water purging reservoir, keep tray in place after steaming. So that's my fault. Quite clearly written out there on the instructions. So I have caused that. Let's pop that back in there. Pop that back in there. Let's pop that over there now and put it onto hopefully steam mode. We've got the flashing water and steam button on there now as well. Let's see how long it takes to start steaming. And I think the way this works is it builds up pressure, builds up heat for the hot water or the steam, and then obviously once you finish using it, it lets that burst of water go back into the machine and out into the drip tray. Wow. That is, wow. That is some serious pressure, ladies and gentlemen. We hear the purge as it releases the pressure back to safety. Now pumping water through to cool the heat exchanger. ready to be making espresso with, essentially, because we don't want it that hot. A lot of machines, it's called surfing. You have to do things manually to raise and lower the temperature either side of using the steam wand. But the sounds that this is making, it sounds like it's doing it all on its own, really. Wow. A little bit terrifying to begin with, I've got to admit. Although being great value for money, it's still £550. I don't want to blow up before I've even had a coffee out of it. So, we've purged that. Now let's purge this. We've got the double shot unpressurised filter basket, so that's lots of holes at the top, lots of holes at the bottom. Looks like we've got a plastic insert here, which I'm not sure the purpose of, but obviously that's going to do something perhaps with regards to some kind of insulation to stop the shot from getting too cold if the filter basket isn't hot enough already, I suppose. Yes, we've got a hot, yeah, that's nice. We've got a hot group head, which is really good. That does locking. Can we do it one-handed? That's a test. Not quite. Maybe I'm just a little bit boisterous with it, but yeah, that's perfectly doable. That is. I'm happy with that. Let's give it a blast, shall we? Might as well rinse this out whilst we're at it. It is a lot quieter than it was before. There we go. Do the single just for fun. Now, essentially, it should be doing a purge sequence before pre-infusion, low pressure pre-infusion, which should be coming up here. Now obviously it seems that it's obviously got some kind of internal pressure sensor on it as well as a gauge, because it didn't wait for that pre-infusion, then it just pumped it and then carried on. Perhaps obviously knowing that it's not got any back pressure there from the puck. You can hear the water there just bubbling back over, doing what it needs to do. I can see moving up to this machine from the one I had before, I'm going to have to pay special attention to the fill line indicator on the drip tray, because I'm going to be a lot more reliant on that drip tray for using this. However, if we turn that round, you can see that it warms up quite quickly, currently at 70 odd degrees Celsius there, as you can see. Tilt it forward, it's cooling down already. So, let's so if we were using it with the grinder, we'd be setting the filter size here and just lining that up there. We've got a lovely filter basket holder here with the button at the back, which lines up with this little tooth here as well. And you can turn it on and off before each time sequence. Let's turn it to single and see how quickly it stops. That. Let's put that back to where it was. Stick some coffee in it, shall we? So it's a shame we haven't got any fresh beans to grind ourselves, but I suppose roasted and ground within the last week we'll have to do. Not something I'm going to make a habit of course. You over right now. I'll have you over here. Knockbox can go here now. And hopefully Santa Claus will have looked in my wish list on Amazon and hopefully will have ordered. What's going on there? What is going on? It's got to be going everywhere. It's just. So, Ugandan coffee, really nice stuff that is. It tastes like strawberry ice cream. Strawberry ice cream, 14, that can go in there. This is the Ethiopian we've just opened. Now, again, like I might have said already, it's a shame that we haven't got any fresh roasted beans, whole beans to try the grinder out with. But I want to save the grinder, I want to save that for decent experience on something I can guarantee has been roasted within the last week that I can really judge the whole process on, because again, if you've got stale beans, they've lost all the oils. You know, if you've got old beans that haven't got any great flavour, you don't know when they were roasted, you don't know how long they've been in the cupboard for. God knows. I want to make sure I give it its best opportunity to impress me. So we have got some Ethiopian beans here, single origin from River City Coffee, toffee, apple and lime apparently. We've got really light roast here, and yeah, this was for 6 months of roast date. The roast date was the 11th of November, so okay, just under a month ago it was roasted. I'm hoping it was ground and sooner than that too. There we go. What can I say? The freshest stuff we've got. At least it's from a decent company. It's not been on the supermarket shelf for a year. So we haven't got any scales, so we're just going to have to wing this. So I'll put roughly 2 scoops in there. Again, I'm just distributing it best I can with the scoop. It smells, yeah, I can definitely smell the lime already. Now you'll have to forgive me, I'm well aware that I should be using the tamping mat here. As I said, magnetically held, just to let you know, built-in tamper. When I was looking at this machine originally, I thought, oh, you've got to take it off there and pop it on there. It doesn't feel very good. However, this comes out with a magnet. So over the edge here. Not sure how much I'm supposed to be tamping, but there we go. So then pull this out here, get my blade scraper. It actually says 54mm precision machine. So we've tamped this down. We're going to pop this in and see how far off we are. Actually, it seems we're a little bit low perhaps. Actually, it's not too heavy. So we've got a warm group head, got a warm filter basket. Let's get something. to rinse. Warm. So yeah, as I've said before, River City Coffee, really good, happy with them. Second time I bought from them actually. However, as I said earlier, I've placed an order with Cole & Mac, based in Raleigh Regis. Hopefully they'll be sending their selection back out to me shortly, so I can do a review of, well, their coffee, as well as how we dial in the grinder on the Sage Barista Express. So it sounds like we're doing a bit of back purge there. Is that going to be big enough? Are we going to catch any of it? Let's hit the 2 and see what happens. A pre-infusion, the gauge starts to come up, as you can see. Oh no, wait, here we go. That is pretty perfect where that's supposed to be, I think. I'm I'm really impressed. Massive dose. Definitely going to have to hone that in a little bit, although it is a very small glass. I suppose we should be getting 2 of these out of the shop, but lovely crema on there, really thick, lovely separation, like a pint of Guinness, and again, perfect espresso range there. Just at 12 o'clock, which is where everybody online says it should be. Well, oh wow. I still think tiniest bit under extracted, a little bit sour, but again I think that's just because I've done a double and I've not quite given it enough time. But yeah, got that burnt caramel flavour, citrusy lime, not, it is a tang of lime, very interesting. Well, I think that's a success. First blast, pre-ground beans. I think dialing it in is going to be another video and another challenge, probably where I'll make even more noise and embarrass myself a bit more. I'm not going to bother frothing any milk because, well, that can be for another day. Anyway, so guys, thanks for joining me on this occasion where instead of drinking beer, we've cracked open a new product, the Sage Barista Express. It's sapphire black, is it? Or sesame black? I think it's sesame black. Yeah, let's go with that. All in all, very impressed. Sturdy, professional feeling machine. Very happy with it from my novice experience of the coffee game. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. I can't say that today. To hit that like and subscribe button. Like and subscribe. Okay, if you do it, doesn't matter about them. It's my new friend. Anyway, as always, it's been emotional.